Hello everyone, I'm AT Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. It was yet another warm and muggy day on our Thursday as highs got into the low to mid 80s once again. We had some showers and storms that developed as was expected during the late afternoon and evening hours, but it was mainly confined to the western half of our area. But we're going to maintain off and on shower and storm chances in the forecast today, tomorrow, and Sunday as well. We'll go more in depth with that here coming up in just a minute. But also we're going to be seeing temperatures a little bit closer to average here going forward. And next week we'll be gradually trending drier as the week goes on. Still might have a few showers to start the week, but the second half of next week as of now is trending on the dry side overall. So we have an area of low pressure near Sioux Falls, South Dakota this morning. It was actually over Sioux Falls or just south of there yesterday morning. And as I talked about yesterday in my forecast, this is what's called a cutoff low because it is cut off from the main jet stream, which is displaced up to the north. That's where the flow of it is right now. So that's why the low really hasn't moved much in the last 24 hours, and with it gradually moving a little more to the east and northeast, that's why we're going to keep rain chances around here for the next few days. We're already seeing some rain in parts of the area this morning. Now, towards the midday hours and early afternoon, we may see the coverage of rain come down a little bit. But then as we get towards mid to late afternoon and into this evening, that's when I do think the coverage of rain is going to ramp back up once again, up to as much as about 60 to 70%. And if we do clear out a little bit this afternoon, although I don't think it's likely, but if it does happen, that may add enough energy or at least a little bit more into the atmosphere to allow for some thunderstorms to develop this evening. And we could have some heavier downpours in some instances, not for everyone, but in some cases. And like we saw yesterday evening with one storm out in the western parts of the area, could maybe see some small hail and gustier winds with the strongest of the storms. So just be aware of that if you have any outdoor plans tonight, or if you're attending any of the football games. Just be sure to monitor the weather conditions closely. And of course, Nick will have updates throughout the day and also tonight during our evening newscast at 10 if we have any football games that aren't impacted by the weather. So just check back for that. But otherwise, we'll maintain showers around through the overnight hours, tapering off a little bit towards daybreak on Saturday. We'll see more showers and isolated storms around throughout the day Saturday, and it'll start to wind down again as we get into Saturday overnight into Sunday morning. And then some pop-up showers are around for our Sunday afternoon, and then we'll quiet things down again as we head into Sunday evening. Here's the HRRR model. This one actually keeps the shower chances around throughout most of the day today. And certainly I think that will be the case, but I do believe that it will be a little more isolated around the lunchtime. And then you can see some individual showers and storms around during the late afternoon and evening hours and continuing into the overnight. Though again, quiets down a little bit overnight, and then we'll see it kind of ramp back up again towards the midday hours tomorrow and into Saturday afternoon and into Saturday evening, and maybe in a few spots lingering into early Sunday morning. So precip chances again, coverage-wise, will be highest tonight and into tomorrow, and then as you see, it gradually steps down, back down below the slight category as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So how much rain are we looking at between today and Sunday? Lower end totals around a couple hundredths of an inch to about a tenth of an inch, but most likely we'll see anywhere from a tenth to about 3/4 of an inch. Higher end totals, if we get some heavier downpours to develop and or track over the same area, we could see some totals in the 1 to 2 inch range across the area. Also, too, what we'll be watching, dew points gradually coming down. So we're not going to be seeing the mid to upper 60s like we've seen the last several days, maybe touching mid 60s in a couple of locations here the next few days with the rain chances around. But look at next week, gradually stepping back down into the 50s. So it'll gradually start to feel a little more comfortable too, and thus as well, cooler nights ahead as we get towards the middle to end of next week. Highs today across the area about 70 to 76. Again, it will be dependent on if we see the clouds break in any location and, of course, the coverage of rain. But we'll generally be low to mid 70s area-wide today. Lows tonight, 57 to 62. And then tomorrow, upper 60s northeast, but most of us in the low to mid 70s. And we'll go about the same numbers on Sunday, 70 to about 75, 76 on the high end. And believe it or not, temperatures will actually stay right around those numbers even into the start of next week as well, and even continuing into the middle to end of next week with those highs in the mid 70s and lows in the 50s. That is still going to be above our averages for this time of year.